Finlay, first up, it's been a good start to the championship, a couple of bonus point wins. How much have you enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, massively enjoyed it. We've got off to a really good start. Like you mentioned there, 2 bonus point wins. It's been unbelievable to be a part of that. But look, we're not getting too ahead of ourselves. We've got a big game this weekend away from home. So we just had a good session there and looking forward to the weekend.
And regular time in a green jersey, there must be nothing better for you.
Oh yeah, massive. I've really enjoyed it. I suppose getting the connections with all the boys and starting those test matches in a row, it's been really good for my development, and it's been an experience that I've thoroughly enjoyed.
You've been in and around the group for a long time, in and out, but more recently, the last couple of years, more involved, more prominent. What makes this group so special you're part of?
Oh, this group, like you said there, it's crazy special. I just think, we've been together for so long, and big thing we have is that everyone is, you have to be yourself when you come in, and there's a wide range of different personalities in the team, and I think everyone just has that camaraderie off the pitch, and then we're all working hard to a common goal, and everyone's striving to get better, and just the growth mindset we have as a team. And then, like I mentioned there, the crack we have off the pitch, it's a truly special group, and it's an honour to be a part of it. And
you say unique, be yourself. You're obviously a different style into your wrestling, your Viking, your haircuts, all sorts.
Yeah, there's a few of us who are a bit mad. You'd have to ask other people's opinion on what I'm like. I'm sure they would probably say I'm mad as a box of spiders, but there's some weird fish in our team. But I reckon the weirder you are, the more it's accepted. We're kind of chatting about who might be normal, and the list is very, very, very short. So it's a good reflection on the team.
Why would someone say you're weird? You seem quite relaxed.
I don't know why they say I'm weird. It's kind of bizarre. I think that's weird that they're saying I'm weird, but look, it's not for me to say. I just be myself, and we have like I said, we have a bunch of mad men on the team, but look, everyone's themselves, and that's all you can ask for.
Take us back. Edmund College in Canberra, Brumbies Academy, then Belfast Harlequins. How did it all happen?
Yeah, look, ever since I was a kid, I always had the dream of being a professional rugby player, and I suppose that's all I thought about growing up was one day be the players I saw on the TV, and I wanted to be that so bad. And I suppose after school I didn't get into any sort of academies or anything like that, and I have my mum's side of the family, which are from Enniskillen, and we'd often visited there as kids for our holidays. And I actually went to school up in Enniskillen for a short while when I was younger, so I was quite familiar with the area, and we explored my roots in terms of my Irish eligibility. And thankfully they brought me in for a trial for the Irish under-20s. Was based originally at Ulster, and was let go from Ulster about 6 months later, and then Connacht came in and offered me a spot in the sub academy, and I've been there ever since.
Arrive at Belfast Harlequins, playing for their seconds because you weren't registered for the first, just normal lads playing rugby. Were you just I suppose at that stage you were young, but you're thinking, what's going on here? I'm on the other side of the world just playing a bit of footy.
Well, I didn't think of it like that. I was like delighted to be, doing what I love, and I could see a path for myself, and I knew I'd come over to be involved in the Irish under-20s, and it was like, I was extremely excited. I think my first game was for Belfast Harlequins, seconds away in Ophir, which was a long time ago now, and I had a big mullet back then, and everyone's probably thinking, Jesus, who is this fella rocking into the place? But look, as a young fella, my dream was to play rugby, and I was playing rugby, so I was happy.
Ulster, you said, released you. Connacht picked you up in the sub academy. Were there times, even early on, you think maybe this professional rugby isn't for me, and I'm not going to make it?
Yeah, I suppose you have that in the back of your head. Look, I'd flown all the way and travelled to the other side of the world, and then getting released from Ulster straight away, and I found it quite tough to make friends and stuff off the pitch originally, which I found quite difficult. But I suppose when I came to Connacht, it was such a, just the feel of the place immediately when I walked in. I felt like I belonged there, but there was still plenty of ups and downs in terms of if I didn't know if this was going to be something that I could make into a career. And I suppose I just kept the head down and worked really hard and was really persistent, and I knew what I wanted, and I did everything I could to make it happen, and fortunately sitting here all these years later and finally made something out of it, I guess. Connacht
debut in 2014, a Pro 12 URC title. You had some great memories and still do in green. You know, you're only 33.
Yeah, like I said there, like it's been some journey, you know, to be a part of that Connacht team that won the Pro 12 back in 2016. Played in every game that year, all 31 games, and you know, that year was such a whirlwind. You know, I was only a young lad, and you know, kind of making my regular appearances for the Connacht team, like I mentioned, and to win something, see how much it meant to the people of Galway, but you know, the whole of Connacht as well. It was truly special. It's something, you know, one of the best memories of my career for sure. An
Irish debut in 2016 against Italy. Did you feel ready for it?
Yeah, like I said, that 2015-16 season was a mad year. Got called into camp, you know, for the start of the Six Nations, and was kind of at the time where I was kind of covering a bit of loose head and tight head, and I think towards the second last round, Churchy, I think, did his hammy, and on the Thursday they were like, "Yep, you're on the bench," and kind of went from maybe wasn't playing to playing. So rang home straight away, told my parents. Obviously delighted. All my family in Enniskillen were delighted as well, and looked at that was an unbelievable. I didn't have much time during the week because I didn't know I was playing, and then you know, you kind of find out late and you're getting all these emotions at once, but it was something that, you know, I'll never forget.
4 years on, you've 14 tests in and out of squads. Again, a difficult part of your career, was it?
Yeah, I suppose I got those caps earlier on in my career, and I was in and out of squads for a length of time, and I suppose in that look there was obviously disappointment, but a lot of the experiences that I had the years before that in terms of bouncing around at Ulster, then coming to Connacht and uncertain about my career, kind of, I suppose, hardened myself and made myself pretty resilient to, you know, setbacks and, you know, all that. So I kind of knew what I had to work on, and like what I did at the start of the career, fought real hard for what I wanted, and was really persistent, and thankfully, you know, I've been a bit more of a prominent figure over the last few years, which has been brilliant.
You talk about resilience. Is that nearly the biggest word or your motto over the last number of years, because you've never given up hope? Yeah,
exactly. Well, I think just as a young lad, I never was one of the ones, you know, in school or anything like that where they were like, oh yeah, this guy's like he's going to be the next, you know, professional rugby player, blah blah. I was never one of those guys, but I still always had that dream, and I don't really think of it too much, but I just think, yeah, I don't let anyone tell me I can't do something, and I always believe in myself, and certainly make loads of mistakes, and I'll continue to make mistakes, but you know, I'll always get back up and keep fighting.
Andrew Porter switches sides. You take your chance. You've been involved in 34 out of the last 42 test matches. So it's amazing how rugby works.
Yeah, well, thanks, Ports. Yeah, thankfully I've had that opportunity, but like I said, like made loads of mistakes and them caps you mentioned there, and it's always a learning, and thankfully I've been in the squad for, you know, consistently for a period of time now where I've feeling really comfortable in the group. I know how we want to play, and I know where I fit into that. So, yeah, thank you, Andrew.
You mentioned where they're comfortable. Is this the most, in inverted commas, comfortable you've felt in an Irish jersey?
I don't know.
Ever feel comfortable?
Yeah, I don't know if I ever feel comfortable. I just feel potentially maybe more confident in myself. You know, there's always ups and downs, and I suppose it's just picking yourself back up and trying to figure out where you went wrong and fix it and not let it happen again. But I don't know if I would feel comfortable ever.
Outside of rugby, what are you into? I know you like your wrestling. Is it SmackDown or Raw?
No, so I liked the old. I don't watch wrestling anymore because I'm a father now and busy man. But when I was younger, I used to be a big fan of the wrestling, and it was something me and my brother used to watch coming home from school and stuff like that, and then kind of carried some of the wrestling crack into the locker room banter and stuff we have now, so it's stood me well.
Wrestlemania, were they your favourite days?
Wrestlemania, Royal Rumble was pretty good. I remember me and my brother always begging my old man if we could buy the pay-per-view, and then he'd say, no you can't, and then I was like, please, and then sometimes we got it, but yeah, we enjoyed it now. It was good entertainment.
A couple more left on the rugby side of things. You played in Australia, or played in November against Australia. Disappointment There you felt, if I'm right, you didn't quite take your chance, but you've hit the ground running against England and Scotland. 14 tackles in 60 minutes, turnover penalties, even saw a celebration. How disappointed were you after November, and how happy are you now that you've changed things around?
Yeah, look, I was disappointed. I think, November as a whole, and especially that Australia game, got in my own way in terms of making mistakes that I wouldn't usually make, and then making more mistakes of a similar kind. And I suppose coming back home after the autumn series and reflecting on that, I knew that those performances weren't where I wanted them to be, but it was kind of like a reflection really of like my whole career, where it's ups and downs and picking yourself up off the floor, and people might be saying you're writing you off or saying you can't do something, but just really trusting myself and backing myself. And I came into this campaign now with a clear focus and couldn't stay out my own way, and just really trust the work I've done over the past 6 years, where I've been a bit more consistently in the squad, and trust all that, and trust the boys, and trust what we've done as a team. And we've got two good performances there, plenty to work on, but certainly in a better position now. Yeah,
I know you've been around the Irish system for 9 years, and Tadhg Furlong, one of the best in the world, if not at his time he's injured. Has it been frustrating at times, being like, would this guy ever go away and let me have a crack?
No, not at all. Genuine, not at all.
Has he been good to deal with?
I think Tadhg's been one of the big drivers for me in terms of how my game's elevated. We would often sit down and kind of go over training, and he'd be giving me little tips, and it mightn't seem like much, but it'd be small things doing off the ball, and how to fit into kind of attack structure, or whether it's defence, just kind of small tips that I've been able to soak up from him, because he's obviously a very good rugby player, but I think he's really smart as well, and the smarts that he brings around the pitch, I think have massively helped me. And I think he's been like a really, really big influence in how I've been playing. And
so he's made you better player, is what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I would always thank him for that.
Wales this weekend, interesting one. They're obviously struggling, haven't won in over a year. New coach. Is that a dangerous prospect for you guys?
Yeah, 100%. We're away from home. It's Wales' first game at home as well, so I know their backs are going to be against the wall, and they're 100% going to come out firing. They're a really proud nation, really proud people. I've no doubt that they'll come out firing, and we'll treat it like we do every game, with the utmost respect, and play our game, and come in and super focused and ready to go. It'll
be your 49th cap in Cardiff. I know you probably won't answer it, but I want you to. Then hopefully against France it'll be your 50th. What will that be like for you? Will it be a tear in the eye singing the anthems if you're selected?
Yeah, obviously, please God, all that comes to fruition, and having all my family there for that potential day would be, it'd be something truly special. I think might get a bit emotional. Even get a bit emotional thinking about it now, but give it a job at hand, and focus on this week, and then cross that bridge when we come to it.
It's funny you saying a bit emotional. Did you think, when you were only getting your 14 tests in the 4 years, that you might end up with only 15 tests and that could be it?
Yeah. Well, even like just doing this interview here, like kind of, I wouldn't often think about it, but just my journey from where I started, and then we're talking about like 50 caps for Ireland now. It's kind of, I don't often, because the game we're in, we're kind of onto the next thing, and it's, you don't often like take a step back and look at the big picture. So even mention all that there, it's pretty cool, pretty emotional to think about it.
So Galway and Ireland have pretty much given you everything from a rugby perspective?
Yeah, well, Galway's given me everything. Obviously from a rugby perspective, but also met my wife there. My son's born in Galway. When rugby's all said and done, I'll be settling in Galway, and I'll be out in Salt Hill if anyone's looking for me.
Enjoying the weather.
Correct.
What about going for 3 in a row? Never been done. Has that been talked about? 3 Six Nations Championships?
Really, really briefly. I think we're at a stage now with the group we have that we're not going to get too carried away with ourselves, where we're hyper focused on Wales this weekend, and that's it. We're not talking about anything else big picture wise. Like I said, we've had this group now for a long period of time, we know the job at hand, and we know how to go about our business.
You're 33. When's Finlay Bealham's prime? Has it been? Is it coming? How long?
I feel like I was built to play rugby. I don't pick up many two niggles, don't miss any sessions. I feel like I'm always trying to get better, and age is just a number. So look, we'll keep the head down, keep working hard, always improving, always trying to get better, and that's all you can do.
You talk about getting better. What are your overall aims the next couple of years in a rugby shirt? Be it that in Connacht or be it that in Ireland and Green?
Like I said, I haven't thought about that too much. I just said, you're always on to the next thing, the next game. You don't have much time to kind of take a step back and reflect or look too far into the future. So it's something I wouldn't have done if I was being honest. I'm kind of pretty laser focused at the moment for the weekend, and then the next one and the next one.
And if Champions comes, that's brilliant.
Correct.
Finlay, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.